Armando Galarraga wants MLB to overturn his missed call and recognize the 2010 perfect game. You said you had some feelings on this. I am making a breakdown on this right now. So like I just took the full game and I chopped up every single pitch he threw. So I went through the full game. Besides the ninth inning, I didn't do that yet. But I want to do a breakdown on it because it's wild. And I don't know, gut reaction. Do you think yes or no?
Yeah, I've been fine with this from the start. I mean, it's the most easiest solution, and it's where, like, when logic leaves the room, everyone needs to like take a step back. The guy threw a perfect game. If the right call was made on the last play of the game, it's not one of these, like, you can't do any of the game. And, I like to play a little devil's advocate. It's not like, well, if that pass interference was called, the next play, they could have ran the ball right. Like, there's none of that. It would have been a perfect game.
If it was the first out of the ninth inning, then that holds up. Like, hey, you can't, the predetermined outcome, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know how it turns out if we don't know. But this very one situation, he did it. They just made him face another batter. And I agree with you. Change it. I don't think that because I understand, like, you can't do this because then it opens up every game to be changed retroactively. No, you can be like, hey, this one is very easy. It's the last out of the game.
Yeah, it's the last out of what would have been a perfect game if the call was called right.
And what's crazy, dude, and I know umpires, and we're talking to Dale Scott, and I know all of the hoopla and bullshit that goes into being an umpire and having to be in control, and you can't overturn an umpire. Everything they say is law. How come Jim Joyce didn't ask for help? How come he didn't ask the home plate umpire, like, hey, did he keep the bag? That's one of the things that first base umpires can ask the home plate umpire for. Did he keep the bag? Was his foot on the bag? That's actually so devastating to me because we've seen this, like with A-Rod and Bronson Arroyo, asked for help, met together in the middle, got it right. I just did a breakdown with Jim Leland where they blew the call because they thought same exact play as Galarraga, same exact play. And the ump called him safe. And then he asked the home plate umpire, he's like, no, he had his foot on the bag. Like, why didn't Jim Joyce at least do that? I don't understand. That is upsetting me. Like, I know replay didn't exist, but you could have still fixed this so easily.
Yeah. I think moments get big for players. I think moments get big for umps too.
Yeah, I know. But it's just nuts that he couldn't ask for help right there, or he didn't. And like, it's also nuts that the home plate umpire can't pull him into a circle and be like, hey, man, I'm pretty sure he had the bag, because he can't. The only way that happens is if the first base umpire asks for help himself. Otherwise, other umps can't offer help. Like, come on. It's just a bunch of like manly men, like, don't correct me. Like, well, let's do this as a team, a little teamwork.
I mean, again, and umpires are always going to be on the butt end more than the complimentary end. But yeah, I mean, think about the personality you need to be an umpire.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, I'm going to make a breakdown on it, but I'll try to keep all of those opinions kind of out of it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It's crazy, though, because after the game ends, Leland and the whole Tigers bench coach just run to Jim Joyce and start just ripping him apart. Not even close. How could you do that? And it's like, oh, whoa. It's a hostile scene.
A lot of people are saying things like, why is he asking for it now? Because it's been 10 years. Think there's like a better chance it gets overturned if he asks for it like in the moment then, or?
No, because in the moment, right after that happened, they polled all MLB players asking them if they wanted replay because of this. And like 80% of players said, no, we like the game the way it is, which is how it'll always be. They'll always say we like. So I think if he did that, they'd be like, what makes you so special? That was kind of, and it still litters MLB. That attitude still litters MLB. It's like an old head attitude. But I think it's 10-year anniversary. Like, he would have been getting fucking money from this. He would have been.
Oh yeah.
He would have been hosting a 10-year anniversary and doing meetups and signing things. Like, he's lost a lot of money from this.
Dude, we and again, I think he would have been fine without it, but Dallas Braden's anniversary just happened. And it was like the kind of the thing on baseball Twitter that day. I mean, it's really cool that it coincides with Mother's Day and his grandma and everything like that. And he's a vibrant, delicious personality, anyways. But like, it's a thing. And now, exactly. Look what we're doing now. We're debating Jim Joyce and umpires and what should it go down in the books when it should just be like, this dude pitched a perfect game. And dude, if I remember correctly, his career went like pretty much directly south after that.
Well, I just watched a bit of the footage, so I listened to like the notes on Armando Galarraga at the beginning of the game and stuff. And it was interesting because he wasn't like somebody when it happened. They had just traded Dontrelle Willis, and that game was his audition to stay in the 5th rotation spot, is what they said at the start of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, he was he was a major leaguer. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't fight or flight, but
he didn't have a rotation spot.
Yeah. I mean, let's
Crazy.
see.
My baseball reference.
It's not like he had an otherwise like great career, and this could have just been a story from it. Like, this really is his whole career, is this game, and like as far as long-term memory.
He had a really good 2008, and then he got lit up in 2009, and then he just had a very average 2010, which is the year this happens. And then, I mean, he's pretty much out. He has 13 starts after 2010 to the tune of a 6+ ERA. So, like, I don't know, man. I mean, all those emotions you start to feel when we've done the Astros stuff for years, and it's, hey, this guy made his MLB debut off the Astros, got lit up, and that was it. Like, those same emotions come into play with this Galarraga thing, because it's like, baseball is a brutal sport, and if you get a moment, like, that's awesome.
Cherish it.
And he should have that, and he kind of doesn't.